Nice speech. Thanks. Learned a lot. Thank you.
Love 146. 4 letters, 3 numbers that represent a commitment to change the future. Around the world, there are more than 27 million people enslaved in a multitude of ways. Love 146 is an international human rights organization that started with the saving of one girl. It is her desire for freedom and her demonstration of the human spirit that drive this organization. Imagine being sold into the sex trade at only 8 years old. Envision at 8 that you are an item on the menu at your favorite restaurant. Only instead of French fries and pizza, you're the item that's being ordered. No school, no doctors when you're sick, no parents to reassure you from this nightmare. 146. A label pinned to the front of a girl's dress. She no longer had a name, she was only a number. Number 146 was just a child in an Asian brothel waiting to be sold. The 2 founders of Love 146 saw that she was the only girl who not only had life, but fight left in her eyes. She was the beginning of a lifetime of commitment by hundreds of volunteers to end this madness. If not for her spirit and her love, they could have easily become Rage 146 or End the Madness 146. But instead, they became an organization that fosters hope and provides resources to end child sex trafficking and exploitation. The organization's main goal is not only to stop trafficking as a whole, but to educate people on what it really is, or to inform people that even the language commonly used among teenagers today should not be used due to its origin of the sex trade. A person has to be a part of a brothel to be considered a victim, right? Wrong. A main point that Love 146 makes is that any person under the age of 18 who is performing sex commercially is a victim of sex trafficking. Now, what would you do if you were a part of the trade and showed someone how vulnerable you were, and that they told you that it would be okay as long as you went with them? Would you go? Because you shouldn't. 2 founders of Love 146, Rob Morris and Caroline Ham, state that more often than not, children become trafficked through the brothels when they show their vulnerability to a friendly face. Pimp Kevin Ivey stated in an interview, "A pimp looks for that weakness, and then he uses those weaknesses to his advantage. They begin to see you as your champion, even if the weakness you rescue them from is one that you created." Love 146 not only focuses on the recovery of children, but also provides resources that defend the vulnerable, protect those who have been recovered or who may be targeted, restores hopes to victims and their families, empowers victims, families, and communities to fight back, and prevents future victims through education and resources. Celebrating Love 146 is a celebration of each child recovered, of each victim that's been prevented, and is a statement to the international communities that these practices will not be tolerated, but more important, that the message of love has no borders and will conquer all. A number is not your name. You are not to be labeled. You are to be you. Thank you.